What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro and welcome to episode 64 of my Leicester City career mode. We're starting this episode off with a game against Crystal Palace. This is at the King Power Stadium and we're actually playing with a fairly decent team. We do have Tyler Blackett and Baraghi in defence, just because I thought, well, Palace always put us under pressure and they are always a kind of a tricky team to try and navigate. I just didn't think that they would bother us that much, and it'd be good to give those other players a little bit of a run out as well, because this is a midweek fixture, which means that it's come just a few days after the game against QPR from the last episode, so these are just a little bit more tricky, I suppose, to look after players' fitness and stuff like that. But I have a question for you guys at the start of this episode, and it's just quite simply, how did your country get on in the qualifiers at the weekend, or today even, or yesterday, or last night, or whenever it was? If you're from Europe, obviously, I guess I don't really know if there's any South American games on this weekend. I suppose there's probably friendlies on, but I'm from Ireland, obviously, and we lost to Scotland at Celtic Park on Friday night. And do you know, like, I really don't care about international football at all until it gets to the tournaments. But I watched that game last night, and the atmosphere was really good in the stadium. And it was like, it wasn't really the best football game I've ever seen or anything like that, but the players really went for it, like for every tackle and all. And it was quite interesting to watch, really, because I'd never seen a competitive fixture between either country before in my life. There hasn't even been one in my lifetime, actually, only friendlies. So I don't know, it was interesting, and it doesn't look like Ireland are going to qualify because, well, no, they probably will get into the playoff position or something like that, but I don't know, it's very easy to be pessimistic when you're an Ireland fan, I suppose. But tell me about how your country got on. I saw, like, Portugal beat Armenia and Greece lost to the Faroe Islands, which was pretty incredible. But we end that game against Palace with a 0-0 draw. Not much to report on it. It's a shame too, because we were starting to build a little bit of momentum in the league with victories over West Ham and QPR, but we just couldn't beat Palace, which is a shame. But we go into our next game, and this is away from home at St Mary's against Southampton, a team who always, every FIFA ever, they are just the greatest team to play against. Although I think I have a pretty good record against them on this FIFA. They do have a decent enough team though, and so do we. We've got Stones and Cocker restored in defence for this, and we've gone with a 4-4-2 with the two kind of holding midfielders. I don't know why I reverted to that. I left it on the default tactic, and that's what my default tactic is. I actually did it by mistake, and I was quite annoyed when it got into the game, but I just figured I'd stick with it anyway. And I don't really know why I didn't bother changing it, but I just thought I'd give it a go. But we come up to the 10th minute of the game with the ball being fed through to Dwight Gale with a really good pass as well, as he eases away from the defence and has a look up inside the box and passes it to Hector Villalba, who amazingly manages to not score for the first time in a long time, because he's just such a goal machine. Although he didn't score against Palace either, so I guess this is worrying. This is like the longest goal drought he's ever had. But we come up to the 17th minute and Villalba once more going for the shot, this time just wide of the post. But it looks like he was getting closer when in actual fact he was getting further away. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I say certain cliches sometimes. But we come up to the 26th minute with Shane Long on the ball for Southampton. He finds Hesketh on the edge of the box, who plays it back into Shane Long, excuse me, who sees his shot saved by Kasper Schmeichel and eventually cleared by our defence. And then we come up to the half-time mark, just inside stoppage time, with Gary Gardner playing a great ball into Villalba, but he just couldn't finish with his left foot that time. I suppose he's predominantly right-footed, obviously. I think he's only got a 3-star weak foot, but just the way he plays sometimes you wouldn't think that. But Southampton came forward in the second half with Davis on the ball. He goes back to Mane on the left-hand side of midfield, who finds Bertrand with the overlap and run from fullback. His cross finds Tadic, who went very, very close to finding that near post and giving Southampton the lead. So that was a little bit of a worrying moment for us in defence. But Tadic finds Mane just about 8 minutes later as they came forward again, continuing this type of movement. And if you look at the way the players move here and the way that they pass the ball, you'll see why I don't do well against teams like this. It's just they always pull my players out of position because I'm not really the best defender on the game. But Davis on the edge of the area has a look up and he finds Tadic, who plays it back to Davis, who plays it back to Tadic, who again goes very close. And that shot went the exact same way as his header did 10 minutes previous to that, when it went just wide. But Forster's goal kick in the 70th minute finds Tadic, who finds Ramirez, but he's dispossessed by Cocker, who plays the ball to Villalba, who looks up and chips it into Schlupp, who gets in just ahead of the defender and has the pace to peel away from both centre-backs before getting in and finishing with his right foot. The striker, who is a left-back in the game, obviously, but he can play striker, and he got that right-footed finish just perfect, because usually he does not really do well from those types of positions. But into the final 10 minutes of the game we go, and Villalba hits the ball basically at Leite. It's one of the worst passes I've ever seen. He just belts it at him and expects him to control it. But Leite came forward in the 82nd minute and got into a great position before being taken down by Forster, and the referee decided to give a penalty. I think this was really harsh on Southampton, in all honesty. Like, if it was for the defender pulling Leite's shirt or something in combination with what Forster did, I could understand it, but I don't really see what other choice Forster has from this position when he goes down, because I kind of tried to do a skill move and messed it up, but Villalba steps up from the spot and he sees his penalty saved by Fraser Forster, which is the first penalty that we have missed in this entire series. I don't think we've ever missed a penalty, have we? If anyone knows, I would be amazed at your knowledge and also a little bit afraid. But we come up to the 88th minute of the game with Tom Ince swinging an amazing cross in with his left foot. It comes out towards Scott Sinclair, who passes it to Jeffrey Schlupp, who hits it first time into Gary Gardner, who hits it first time with his side foot into the back of the net as we go 2-0 up. And Villalba doesn't have to worry about missing the penalty anymore, because the game looks all but secure at this point, and we leave St Mary's with 2 goals and the 3 points and another clean sheet, which I believe is actually our 4th clean sheet in a row in the league, which is kind of unheard of for us because of the way that we play and the fact that I'm a terrible defender and all. And I actually mentioned being a terrible defender in this game, but it'd be very unlikely for us to get a clean sheet in our next game as we go back to the King Power Stadium to take on Manchester United, who I don't think we've ever beaten Man United. We've got an absolutely terrible record against them, but we always seem to play kind of well, to the point where our play would warrant a point or 2 or 3 even. But it never seems to work out our way against United. They always just seem to overcome us because they have so much strength and stuff like that in their team. Fellaini is just so overpowered in this game. It's so hard to get anything around him. But we come up to just 5 minutes into this game with John Stones in the box, and he gets brought down by Phil Jones, and the referee decides to give a penalty so early in this game. I've no idea why Stones was in such an advanced position, but when you see the replay here, I think you guys will agree that this is actually a really harsh penalty as well. Phil Jones, he's just such a clown, isn't he? But yeah, he's not even pulling his jersey. Like, I don't really get why that's a penalty. There's not really much in it at all. And it's very strange. Like, obviously the game is accurate 100% of the time, but Villalba steps up from the spot despite having missed one in the previous game, and he sends the goalkeeper in the wrong direction to go 1-0 up. I swear, none of these goalkeepers do any of their homework before these games, because if they did, they would know that every single Leicester City penalty goes into that top right-hand corner of the net. So all you have to do is dive in that direction, and there's a really good chance you'll save it. But United came forward furiously a few minutes later, and they were just determined to not let that faze them, and Juan Mata's shot into the near post gave them the equaliser after just 18 minutes, and it was kind of really annoying because Bayram was about to belt the ball clear before big Fellaini got in the way and just blocked it, and it fell to Mata. It was sort of a lucky goal for them, but it was more of a lucky break, I suppose, but that's just what happens when you put enough pressure under your opposition. And in the 25th minute they came forward once again with Mata playing the ball into Wayne Rooney, who swings at it and sees his shot punched away by Kasper Schmeichel. And then we come up to just 3 minutes later with United still piling on the pressure up front. Juan Mata plays the ball into Wayne Rooney, who does really well to get a shot off from that position with his left foot, but thankfully for us it went wide and there was nothing else in it. Then we come to the stoppage time at the end of the first half with Tom Cleverley on the ball as he evades the challenge of Bayram really well before making his way into the box. His pass finds Mata, whose shot is saved, and Wayne Rooney is there to bundle in the rebound and put United 2-1 up. At least so he thought, and I thought as well, and I get mad every single time that this happens, but as you'll see from this replay, it was definitely offside. I don't know, like, I used to be really good at spotting when a player was offside or not, and I don't anymore. I think it's because I'm concentrating so intently on where a player is going to run and trying not to run my player out of position that I just don't pick up on it, because defending is really hard in this game. But in the 55th minute, Tom Ince came very close to giving us the lead with that shot, but his shooting's just not very good. And then 4 minutes later we came forward with the ball being chipped into Dwight Gale, who gets in ahead of Rojo and Jones before getting his shot off, but Lindegaard saved it. I think he would have held that as well if it wasn't for the rain, but it was a decent enough effort nonetheless. Then just beyond the hour mark, United came forward with Javier Hernandez finding Juan Mata. He plays it to Van Persie, who has a look up and plays it back to Mata, who decides to go for the shot from distance, and his shot goes just wide as well. It was so close to peering into that far corner of the net. Then we come to the 75th minute of the game with James at right back. I don't really know who that guy is. If anyone knows, do let me know. His cross finds Van Persie, whose shot went just over the bar, but it was sort of a sign of the pressure that United were putting us under, and that all culminated in the 95th minute with Van Persie's shot being saved by Kasper Schmeichel. Stones calmly passes it to Bayram as we go into a kind of a counter-attack, or at least try and get one going, with Leite's chip going through Daley Blind and finding Villalba in a great position going forward, but he has a lot to do from here. He just just manages to peel away from Blind and finish it into the corner of the net in the 95th minute with what was the second last kick of the entire game, and he gives us the victory against Manchester United for the first time in this entire series so far. And that is how we're going to win the league this season. I really do think that we're going to win the league this season. I'll be really, really disappointed if we don't. We have had a couple of stumbles along the way so far. Only 14 games played, but we lost to Liverpool and Chelsea. But as you can see from this league table, we're now 2 points behind the league leaders and we're in second place. And this is the strongest position, I think, that we've maintained since the entire series has started. Obviously, we did hold top four for several months in previous seasons, but I think this feels a little bit different because Chelsea have lost 4 games this season, which is twice the amount of games that they lost in total last season. So they're obviously not going to be as good as they were. And our form is consistent with that of Manchester City's as well, who are playing really well. And we're just 2 points behind Arsenal, and I think that we're going to do it. I don't know, I haven't played ahead at all, but I just have a feeling that we're going to win the league because I've decided that I want to do it, and I'm doing everything necessary to make it happen. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying the series. If you are, please do leave a like, that would be much appreciated. I've been El De Niro, thanks for watching.